Hej! Och välkomna hit till kvällens föreläsning och till den här fantastiska lokalen som jag antar att de flesta av er inte visste. Den såg ut så här inuti. Några av oss har förmånen att vara här och plugga ibland. Som vi gör gärna. Det är ju Lisa, min goda vän Lisa Jimenez, som ska ha föreläsningen ikväll. Hon är ju då författare, psykolog, coachar folk, motivationscoach och föreläsare naturligtvis. Sen är hon även delägare i ett hälsoföretag, Liveshots. Det var så jag lärde känna henne. Träffade henne i Las Vegas för 3 år sedan. Och vi tittade varandra i ögonen och så grät vi båda två. Så det är Soul Sisters. Och som sagt, hon är med i ett hälsoföretag och Liveshots. Men kvällens föreläsning, det är personlig utveckling och mindset fullt ut. Imorgon kväll, om någon känner för det, så är ni välkomna hem till mig. Remslegatan 21G. Då kommer Lisa att ta sin andra roll som delägare i hälsoföretaget. Och då har man möjlighet att provsmaka deras proteinshake. Som är, tycker jag, helt fantastisk. Utan gluten, utan mjölk, utan soja, utan färgämnen. Men med flytande grönsaker som smakar choklad. Broccoli, spenat, grönkål, koriander. Och jag använde den i fjol och 7-8 kilo, 7-8 centimeter. Så jag tycker den är fantastisk. Och vill någon komma hem imorgon och provsmaka den, är ni välkomna 7:00 hem till mig. Då berättar vi lite kort om den. Sen så kan vi umgås, dricka lite vin och ha mysigt. Bara under lite enklare, lättsamma förhållanden. Är ni intresserade så har jag lagt anmälningslista där borta. Så kan ni ändå svara på en gång eller så mejla eller smsa. Så jag vet om jag måste iväg och köpa mera vin imorgon. Ja, shaken har jag hemma. Och några duggar vin. Men ni är så välkomna. Men ikväll så är det personlig utveckling och mindset. Very, very, very welcome, my dear Lisa Jimenez.
Let's clap for Cheriston. She's such a wonderful friend. She's such a great leader. And look at who you put together tonight, Cheriston. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. And thank you for coming and being here. I wish I could speak Swedish to you. That would be so much fun in Sollefteå, Sweden. But I will speak English tonight. Is anyone here who does not speak English? See, look at that. You have to love that. In Sollefteå, everyone speaks English. I think if you came to the United States, where I live in Florida, and asked how many people are bilingual, speak 2 languages, how many people would raise their hand? Maybe 50% is all. So it's very special that your country and your culture and your families and your education and your schooling makes that a priority. Makes that important to speak other languages. Do you agree? Yes. Yeah. So more or less, not 100%. Okay. Tonight we are going to have an amazing conversation. Cheriston and I were speaking last night and even this morning over coffee and our vibe, and I said, the people who come tonight will forever be changed. Forever changed. Forever changed. And that is an honor and a privilege to be a leader in communicating a conversation that will forever change you. Forever change you. What does that mean? Well, I have some insights and some tools that I'm going to give you tonight. Tools. What are tools? Really, they're mental tools. I'm going to teach you how to train your mind so that you can create what you want. Wow. Isn't that beautiful? Who wants to do that? Me, yes. And I will share a lot of stories of my own life and my children's lives. Because if I have mastered this, then, and we can talk about results, but let's talk about my children who have mastered this and talk about results. Because isn't that a blessing to learn something, but then to give it to someone else? To give it to your children, or to give it to your parents, or to give it to your husband, to give a gift. And what the gift is mastering your mind. Mastering your mind. Well, how do you say that in Swedish? Mastering your mind, like being aware of the mind and what you're thinking about. Mastering your mind. How do we say that in Swedish?
Behärska ditt sinne.
Say it again.
Behärska ditt sinne.
Yeah,
kan man säga.
it's beautiful, it's powerful. So I have a question for you. How are things created? How are things created? Well, let's think. A meal. You make dinner. You make lunch. You make breakfast. How is it created? Okay. An airplane. 1903, on December 17th, 1903, Orville Wright brothers, yes, in North Carolina, United States, flew the first plane. How was that created? How is, yeah,
Fission.
say it again.
They have a dream.
Say it again.
They have a dream.
Say it again.
They have a dream.
They have a dream. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's our first lesson to learn tonight. What is your dream? They had a dream. They had a thought. They had an insight. They had a desire. What are more words that explain this? A thought, an insight, a desire, a wanting, a picture, a vision, a dream, see? So that's the first step. We have to be thinking about what we want. Not what we don't want. But guess what? You and me, we always think about what we don't want. Why do we do that? But we do that. So tonight is about shifting our habits. Shifting what we're thinking about. Being aware. Okay, wait. What am I thinking about? And I say that all the time. Lisa, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about your dream, your desire, what you want? Or are you thinking about what you didn't like? Or what happened that wasn't good? Or some fears and anxiety? What are you thinking about? So step number 1 in our process today is, do you think about what you want? Are you thinking about your dreams? Are you expecting something special to happen? And then the next question really is, what do you want? Who in this room really knows what they want? They have a lot of clarity around it. I know what I want. 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 Anybody else? I know what I want. I know what I want. Yes, I know what I, yeah. So let's kind of feel what that feels like. When somebody says, I know what I want. I know what I want. What are you thinking about that person? What comes up for you?
Great.
Great. That's unusual. You're unusual.
Oh.
I was just in Amsterdam
I was reading
last week. Oh, are you from Amsterdam?
No.
Oh, which part in Holland?
More to the east. I'm more
Yeah.
under sea level.
Lovely. Yeah,
Great country.
beautiful. Great country. Yeah. Slaap lekker. Slaap lekker.
Sov gott. På svenska.
Slaap lekker is sweet dreams.
Yes.
In Dutch. How do you say slaap lekker in Sweden? In Swedish.
Sov gott. Sov gott.
Say it again.
Sov gott.
Beautiful. I love it. Yeah. So step number 1 for us tonight is we need to know what we want and be thinking about it. What are we dreaming about? What do we want? Because how are things created? Here it is. Here's the answer. Everything is created twice. Everything is created twice. Everything is created twice. The airplane is created twice. First, in the mind, thinking about it, visualizing it, dreaming about it, and then in the physical world on December 17th, 1903. How is your wedding created? In Spanish, it's boda. What is wedding in Swedish?
Bröllop.
Bröllop? Bröllop. How is that created? First in your imagination, yeah? In your mind. And then on the day. Everything is created twice. Everything is created twice. First in your mind, and then in the physical realm, in the real world. But first in your mind. So, knowing that everything is created twice, say that with me in English. Everything is created twice. Everything is created twice. First in your mind, and then manifested on the physical realm. So if everything is created twice, what are you thinking about most of the time? That you're creating. What you're thinking about today creates tomorrow. What you think about tonight creates tomorrow. What you think about tomorrow creates the next day. Wow, that's power. Isn't that power? If you really understood that, that's power. So, let me get this right. I can create tomorrow by what I'm thinking about today. Yes. Yes. Everything is created twice. That's exciting. I hope that inspires you, because then you're like, wow, what do I want, and what am I thinking about, and what are my dreams? And then you start thinking about these dreams and you create them, because everything's created twice. First in the mind and even in the heart. First in the mind and the heart, and then in the physical world, the real world. Everything is created twice. Now, here's the problem with everything is created twice. Most people are thinking about mistakes, problems, challenges, pain, health issues, financial struggles, relationship challenges, or deficiencies. That means like, where am I not good? Where do I make mistakes? See, most of the time you and me, we're thinking about where we messed up, where we made a mistake, where something happened that wasn't good. And then what do we know to be true about this? Everything is created twice. So if you're thinking about where you made a mistake, where you fell short, where you messed up, where that relationship is not working, and you're thinking about this, and everything is created twice, what are you creating for tomorrow and the next day?
More mistakes.
More mistakes, more big mistakes, more letdown. See, and that's what we want to transform tonight. That's what we want to transform tonight. Why? Because you get to. Because you get to. What does that mean to you? You get to. You get to think about what you want to think about. No one can control your mind. No one. That's amazing truth. You might have a father who's very controlling. You might have a boss who's very controlling. You might have a religion that's very controlling. You might have, what's left? A husband or a wife who's very controlling. But guess what they can never, ever, ever, ever control? Ever. What?
Mind.
Your mind. No one can ever crawl up in there and make you think something. You have 100% control of what you think about. That's exciting. So tonight, we're going to talk about 5 dragons. What's a dragon? What's a dragon in Swedish? Droke. Why did I call it a dragon? Droke. Just, I don't know. It just came to me that these are like dragons of the mind. It's kind of like a virus. When you get sick and someone has the flu and then you get the flu, someone has a cold and you get a cold, like a virus. Do you know what, like a virus? Viruses of the mind. I call them dragons because virus is boring. Dragon is like, shung, shung, you're going to slay the dragon. I like that better. So when I wrote this book that's coming out in a couple of months, I decided to call these mind viruses dragons. And I have identified 5 dragons. Now the problem is, you and I, we think about these 5 dragons all the time. We're letting our mind be thinking about these 5 dragons. And that's why tomorrow looks like today. And next month looks like this month. And next year looks like this year. But it doesn't have to be. Why? What's your tool? What's your power? What is it?
Mind.
Your mind. What you think about. And when I say your mind, you guys, I really mean your mind and your heart. I mean like what? Because your mind is powerful, but even Einstein says imagination is more powerful than intellect. So the mind is powerful, but what's more powerful is when you can combine your mind with your heart, with what you love, and then imagination and visualize this delicious future that you want, this delicious dream that you want, this delicious vision of what you want. And you can do this. You can say, how do I want tomorrow to look? Well, what are you doing tomorrow? Let's say you're going to work. You're going to make up in your mind, in your imagination, what you want to have happen. So anybody have any ideas of what you want to have happen tomorrow? This is fun because everything is created twice. So take the time to visualize what you want tomorrow to look like. Maybe you want someone to say, I love you. So you think in your mind, I want him to say, I love you. Or I want my mother to say, I love you. You want that. So you visualize it in your mind. Watch what happens tomorrow. Everything is created twice. Maybe tomorrow you want to feel like you have more energy. You want to feel vital. And so right now, today, you imagine your mind and your heart, you imagine you feeling alive and inspired and excited. Watch what happens. This is a powerful reality, and you have the control to do this. It's called your mind, your heart, which is the imagination. But what keeps us from this? The 5 dragons. So you want to talk about the 5 dragons now? Let's talk about the 5 dragons. Here's the first. The first dragon is your self-view. What does that mean? Self-view. What does that mean? Self-view. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Your self-view. So, when I was a little girl, my nickname, did everybody have a nickname here? Remember when you were little, did you have a nickname? Guess what my nickname was? It was Duchess. Duchess. Now, who thinks Duchess is a good nickname?
Yes.
You do. Most people do. I did not. And I'll tell you why. My sister was the princess. Not good. And so in my mind and in my little heart, I was always second place. I was always second place. I was always forgotten. I was always not important. I was always second place. The Duchess. Now, the Duchess is royalty. I should have said, ooh, I'm royal. But no. Duchess to me was second place. My sister was first place. my sister, Renee. Now we laugh about it, but this is real, you guys. This is real. This was real for me that I created in my mind. I'm second place. And so when I was 9 years old, I entered a competition, a cooking class. And I was very good. And everyone told me, you're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win. And I entered the competition and I came in second place. When I was 10 years old, I entered a dance contest and I was a very good dancer. And everyone said, Lisa, you're going to win, you're going to, it was like yoga, dance, not yoga, it was like competitive dance. It was beautiful. Guess what place I came in? Second place. And then we had 4-H. This was a community event, 4-H in the United States. And I entered speaking contests in 4-H. And always I came in second place. We create a wiring. We create a habit. We create a self-view. And who's keeping me from first place? Who? Me. Because of my self-view. So I started to become aware of this when I was getting my doctorate degree in psychology. And I went, wow, the mind is so powerful. No wonder I was getting second place, second place, second place, second place, because my self-view is second place. Interesting. And then I entered a beauty pageant. I'm 18 years old. And everyone told me, and I was a very prolific speaker even back then, and they said, Lisa, you're going to win this. You're going to win this. You're going to win this. So I entered this beauty contest, and I won first runner-up. What is first runner-up? I'm like, first, finally. Wait a minute. First runner-up? That's second place. Always, always, always second place. It was a habitual pattern. The mind calls it a habitual pattern because I could not be anything else but second place. That was my self-view. What is your self-view? Now, my self-view got created by a silly nickname. But it was the meaning that I gave the nickname. So some of you in this room had a nickname when you were a little boy or a little girl. And it seems like it's harmless. It's just a nickname. But it's not just a nickname. It's helping create your self-view. And here's the quote. You can never out-succeed your self-view. What does that mean? You can never become more than your self-view. The self-view puts a ceiling on you. Not society, not your culture, not Sweden, not your boss, you, me. A self-view puts a ceiling on us. So let's let that be good news tonight, because we can recreate our self-view. If you don't like your self-view, like I did not like my self-view of second place, I decided I'm going to shift that. I'm going to transform how I see myself. And it took time, day by day, progress. Day by day, I'm getting better and better. Day by day, I started visualizing and seeing myself first place, first place, first place, and taking on leadership, taking on leadership, taking on leadership, first place, first place. And really, even in my speaking career, because I was raised in the era that little girls are seen but not heard. Who can relate to that? Yeah. You're seen but not heard. You see, but don't speak too much. So when I became a speaker, it was very challenging. A lot of anxiety and fear and so scary to come to the front of the room. And my knees would just be shaking and I would be sweating and so nervous, so much anxiety. I'm like, why do I have so much anxiety? And it was because of my self-view. The view that I had of myself, that it's okay if you see me, but I should not be smart or prolific or speaking. I had to work on that. I had to shift my self-view. So that's the first dragon. That's the first dragon. And don't you love a dragon? You can slay that dragon. And how do we slay the dragon? By thinking who we want to become. By thinking who we want to become. So who do you want to become? And when I ask that to you, this is called a declaration. How do you say declaration in Swedish? Declaration.
It's the same.
Yes, declaration. This is a declaration. You are declaring who you want to become. So I had to declare, Lisa, you are leadership. You are leader. And I would say, oh, no, I'm not a leader. No, Lisa, you are leader. Because everything's created twice. First in the mind and then in the physical realm. So it may feel to you that it's off. Is that the right word? Like, no, I'm not a leader. No, I'm not whatever you want to become. But you start growing into your new self-view. And one day, you will walk up on a stage and start sharing a message that changes people's lives. When just 1 year before, your knees would be shaking or you would be sweating. It's an amazing transformation. And how do you transform? How do you do it? With your thoughts. So, who wants to declare a new self-view?
Come on,
Who wants to share,
we're too shy.
declare a new self-view?
I have already knew.
Let's think. The Duchess! Oh, wonderful. But let's just think right now. Even, you don't have to say it out loud, but who do you want to become? And so you say to yourself, okay, I am declaring myself confident. Or you say, I am declaring myself loving. Or you say, I am declaring myself healed. I am declaring myself whole and complete. Aren't these powerful? Do you feel it? It's a visceral feeling. So what is it for you? I am declaring myself what? What is your new self-view that you want to declare tonight?
That I'm whole and complete.
Yes, beautiful. I declare myself whole and complete. This is who I am. And when she says that, she's recreating her future. She's recreating her future. This is so powerful. You get to do this. You get to do this. This is a privilege to recreate your future. And maybe some of you in this room, you're thinking, that is so crazy. That's just too crazy. That's too crazy. That's too out there. And I get it. I understand. But try it. Just start declaring myself, yourself, whole and complete. And watch what happens. Watch who you start being. Watch how you start behaving. Watch how people start treating you. It's amazing. It is an amazing transformation. One of my clients is from Namibia, South Africa. Her name is Lilia. Beautiful woman, Lilia. She's African American. She's from Africa. And we went to, I think it was Florence, because I give these wonderful retreats. I call them Mastermind Retreats. And I took all my clients to Florence, Italy. And on day one in Florence, Italy, most people are American, Swedish, Italian, right, in Florence. And so they're lighter skin. Lilia is African American. So on day one, she would come into the restaurant very shy and very lacking confidence. And she would walk up and the hostess would not see her. It was the weirdest thing. The hostess would not see her. And then on day two, we're in conversation like this in my mastermind, and we start talking about self-view and the power of how you think about yourself. And she said, you know, I've been noticing I'm invisible. I'm invisible. And I said, Lilia, You look at you. You are stunning. You have black, beautiful skin. You have gorgeous, short hair, just stunning like a model. And she said, but Lisa, I'm invisible here. People cannot see me. And I said, okay, so let's shift that. Who are you declaring yourself to be? And on day 2, she declared herself confident. On day 3, I declare myself confident. On day 4, I declare myself confident and visible and fun and engaging with people. And by day 4 and day 5, she'd walk up in the restaurant and they would say, oh, Miss Perrier, we have your table for you. Wow. Wow. And that's a little example of how powerful this first dragon is. The first dragon is self-view. And we're going to slay that first dragon. And how do we slay the first dragon? You declare yourself, whatever it is. I declare myself leader. I declare myself whole and complete. Maybe someone in this room wants to declare themselves hot and sexy. Yeah, I am declaring myself hot and sexy.
That's you, hè?
That's you. Watch what your wife does tonight. Yeah, this is amazing. You start declaring yourself hot and sexy. And you see yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself you are hot and you are sexy. And just watch what starts happening. It is hilarious. It is so funny how people start responding to you. This is energy, you guys. It's called energy. It's consciousness. You become beaming hot and sexy. You become beaming whole and complete. You become beaming leadership. Interesting. So who else? Anybody else before we move on to dragon number 2? What do you declare yourself tonight? Because speaking it out loud is so powerful. It's okay not to speak it out loud. It's okay. It works by just saying it to yourself. It works. But it is bold and courageous to say it out loud. So who wants to declare themselves something? Anybody else? Anybody want to say, I declare myself leader, leadership, leader? Anybody leader? That's my new one. Global leader.
Of course we're leaders.
Global, but not everyone feels like they are. See? Yeah. So that's mine now, lately. This is my newest one. Global leader. World changer. Global leader. And then Kirsten asked me to come to Sweden and speak to you. As a global leader. And when she invited me, I thought, wow, I have been declaring myself global leader, but I don't feel like it. But I guess I am. I'm going to Sweden. Thank you, Kirsten. Wow. Yeah. So for months, I said, I am global leader. I am global leader. I am whole and complete. I am whole and complete. This is who I am. I am hot and sexy. This is who I am. It's so much fun. Just watch what starts happening. So Dragon Slayer number 1 is self-view. Everybody got it? Self-view. Here we go.
I declare myself world saver.
Excellent. Say it again.
I declare myself world saver.
Yes. Beautiful. It's powerful. Your day tomorrow will be different. You just created your future. Powerful. So that's dragon number 1, self-view. Dragon number 2, here we go. Dragon number 2, this is a big one. Circumstances. What is circumstances? Things that happen. Life. You get sick. You have financial troubles. You have confidence problems. You get lonely. Somebody dies. Somebody leaves you. Circumstances. Life happens. And then what happens? to me? What happens to you? Well, it's usually we get smaller and smaller and smaller. This is called the dragon of circumstances. So when I was 13 years old, 13, who has a 13-year-old? Anybody has a 13-year-old daughter? 13-year-old daughter, 13-year-old daughter. When I was 13 years old, I met my husband, my future husband. I know she's freaking out. No! Her daughter is not leaving the house. I met my future husband at a skating rink. And we were skating. You know skating. And I'm 13 years old. And there's Mark Jimenez. And I was little, 13, but we became friends through high school, through college, and as it progressed, we got engaged and married. And we had 3 beautiful children, and it was really like a Duchess princess marriage. And then 16 years into that marriage, he came home and told me one night that he doesn't want to be married to me anymore. And he said, Lisa, you know that I have not been real happy in the last year. And I said, I know. And he said, so while you were gone, I was speaking, while you were speaking, I got an apartment and I'm moving out. That's a circumstance. That's a dragon, okay? That's a flippin' dragon. And do you want to hear what I said? Oh, I was so shocked. The word shocked? Yeah, just so shocked and surprised and shocked. And I said, Mark, what is your last name? And he said, what? I said, what is your surname? And he said, Jimenez. And I said, yes, Jimenez's never quit. Don't quit on me, Mark. Don't leave me. Don't quit on me. Don't quit on me. You have to fight for me. Because sometimes in marriage, you go through things, you're not happy, but you have to fight for me, Mark. And he said to me, Lisa, I don't have the fight in me. I don't have the fight in me. And what do you say to that? What do you say to that? I don't know. I said, I don't know what to say. And he moved out. And after 16 years, I got a divorce. Something I didn't think would ever happen to me. It was crazy that I was going through a divorce. Meeting him at 14, 13 years old. And everything going so fairy tale. And then all of a sudden, the fairy tale is over. And I can remember feeling nothing. No, nothing. And scientists calls this 0 point energy. If you have studied Niels Bohr, an amazing physicist, I think out of Denmark, yes. And he won the Nobel Prize in 1922, an amazing physicist. Einstein, an amazing physicist. They talk about 0 point energy. What is 0 point energy? It's nothing, nothing, nothing. But when you have nothing, what do you have? When you have nothing, I had nothing. I had no direction. I had no confidence. I had no husband.
Then you also had everything.
Yes. Yes, you are correct. Say it again. When you have nothing, you have
also everything.
You have everything. And this is called 0 point energy. It is an amazing reality. So some of you tonight, maybe you feel like you have nothing. Your confidence, no. Money, no. Happiness, no. Direction, no. I don't know, nothing. It is a powerful place to be because when you have nothing, you have everything. So at that moment, this was 8 years ago now, 8 years ago, I can remember sitting in my backyard in the United States, in Florida, crying. I could not do anything. I had nothing, no husband, no confidence, no direction, and I had everything. And then something, I don't know if it was like God or the Holy Spirit, I don't know, but I literally heard, Lisa, you can be anything now. You can do anything you want. You have nothing. And when you have nothing, you have everything. And then I heard, what do you want? Like you said, dream. What do you want, Lisa? What is your dream? What do you want to create? And 8 years ago, I sat in my backyard and I took out a sheet of paper and I wrote down the 3 most important values that I have. The 3 things that make me so happy. And I wrote those things down. And this is when I was super sad. I mean, if you could be so sad, nothing, and think about what you love, that's pretty good. So I take out the sheet of paper and I write down these 3 things. Number 1, I love travel. I love it. I love travel. I love going to Amsterdam. I love coming to Sweden. I love going to Denmark. I love seeing Oslo. I love going to Florence. I love being in Germany. I love Costa Rica. I love travel. So I wrote that down. Number 1, I love travel. Number 2, and I think, what else? What else do I love? What makes me so happy? Travel, yep. Number 2, I love people. Stimulating conversations. How do you say that? Stimulating conversations. Conversation. Yeah, just, I love it. I love to sit down with you and talk about interesting things. Just conversation, stimulating conversation around the mind, around intellect, around, just interesting conversations, number 2. Number 3, I love to make a difference in someone else's life. I love it. I love it. I love it when I can say something and they say, I get that. I'm going to declare myself whole and complete. That makes me so happy. I love contributing. I love it. So I wrote number 3, contribution. Making a difference for people. Even if it's, I'm in line at the grocery store and someone behind me, I say, I want to pay for their groceries. And I pay for their groceries. I love doing that. I love contribution. So those were the 3 things. Travel, stimulating conversation, and making a difference. And then I look at the sheet of paper and shoom, I said, oh, that is Mastermind Retreats. That is Mastermind Retreats, my new business. Now remember, I went from nothing 15 minutes ago and 15 minutes to having a whole new business. Real, true story. True story. When you have nothing, you have everything. 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 You just have to think, what do I love? And write it down. And then watch what gets created from that. So here's what happened. I write this down. I say, oh my gosh, that's a new business. That's called Mastermind Retreats, where I take people to different cities all over the world and we sit around and have stimulating conversations. And I make a difference for them. And they come back after that trip, after that, it's not really a holiday, it's business. They come back after that experience and they are forever changed. They are forever changed. So what do you do when you have this idea come to you?
Write it down.
Okay, good. You write it down. That's what I did. I wrote it down. Now remember, this is in a space of nothing. I'm divorced, I have nothing. But amazing how you can create even in the space of nothing. So I wrote it down. What else should you do? What else is the best thing to do?
Go and travel.
Yes, exactly. Act on it. Go and travel. So guess what I did? I open up my laptop and I say, where's my first Mastermind Retreat? And what would a little girl from Paradise, California in the United States who is called Duchess say she should go? It was Paris. Go It was Paris. And I said, I'm having my first Mastermind retreat in Paris, France. And so that day, I bought an airline ticket with my hands shaking and my knees shaking and everything judgment, like everyone's going to be mad at me. Why are you going to Paris? What are you doing? You know, and I put it on my credit card. I did not have the cash. I put it on my credit card and I bought my ticket to Paris, France. And I flew out to Paris for 3 days. The next weekend. For 3 days. And for 3 days, I created the entire Mastermind retreat. I met the tenor from the Paris Opera House. I met him. I was in a cafe and I met the tenor at the Paris Opera House. And I said, oh, I'm having a retreat this summer. Oh, I'm having a retreat this summer. Would you come sing to my people? To my clients. I don't even have any clients. And he said, yes, I would love to. And I said, how much would you charge me? And he told me how much. I said, okay, good. I'm going to pay for that. He said, when is it? I'm like, oh, when is it? I don't know. June 7th. Okay. So I created my future. One day at a time. One declaration 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 at a time. That was 3 days in Paris. I put 15,000 US dollars. I don't know how much that is in Swedish krona. It is a lot of money on my credit card. Because I didn't have the cash, but I had a credit card. So I put it on my credit card. And I flew home back to Florida, the United States, after 3 days in Paris. And I had every restaurant booked. I had the hotels booked for 7 people. I didn't know who the 7 people were, but I booked their rooms. They had a room on the Champs-Élysées for June 7th. And then I said, and then ideas came to me. This is what's so amazing. When you declare yourself whole and complete, things come to you. People call you. Ideas come. And somebody called me and said, Lisa, I want to create a website. I'm new at creating websites. I will do it for you for free. Will you let me do that? I'm like, yes, I'll let you do it. And he said, what's your business? I said, I put on retreats. And he said, where's your retreat? Paris, France. What date? June 7th. All of this got created in my mind first. And then I just started declaring it. I don't know how I had the confidence. I don't know how. I think it was supernatural. Because I was nothing. No confidence, no husband, very sad. Somehow, when you have nothing, you have everything. It's what the physicists say. We just have to believe in the everything. We have to believe in the everything. And so within 3 months, so that actually happened in August. I went to Paris and booked this whole 7-day retreat. Came back. Month 1, I had the website done. No clients. No clients. That's okay. That's okay. Month 2, the website is done, the marketing letter. I'm telling everyone, we have a retreat in Paris on June 7th. You should come, you know. And no, month 2, no clients. But I still kept speaking about it. Month 3, I get on stage and speak and say, yes, I give retreats. Oh, you give retreats. Yes, June 7th in Paris. Oh, okay. And but month 3, no clients. And then at the end of month 3, I get a phone call. And on the other end of the call is a beautiful voice that says, hello, is this Lisa Jimenez? And I said, yes, it is. And she said, I just bought your book, Conquer Fear. And I'm looking to see if you will coach me in my business. Will you be my coach? And she told me she's from Namibia. This is Lilia. She says, I'm from Namibia. And I said, oh, Namibia, that's Africa, yes? Yes, that's Africa. I said, oh, yes, I take on international clients. In fact, I'm having a retreat. and she said, well, I don't live in Namibia anymore. Right now, I'm living in Paris, France. Confirmation, 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 confirmation. What is that word in Swedish? Confirmation. Yes, that comes when you step out in boldness. That comes when you go to Paris for 3 days and create a retreat on June 7th. Confirmation that my first client, Lilia Perrier, would be living in Paris, France. So she signed up for the Paris Mastermind Retreat, and so did 6 other people from all over the world. And on June 7th, 7 years ago, I had my very first Mastermind Retreat in Paris, France. And today, I've done 12 Mastermind Retreats in Fiji, in Sydney, in Florence, in Venice, in Istanbul, and I'm having one in Stockholm. So this to me is amazing. It is amazing that you can go from nothing to anything's possible. Anything's possible. So dragon number 2 is circumstances. But what we have to do is say circumstances are what? They're just circumstances. They're not who you are. They're not who you are. You are not divorce. You are not health problem. You are not loneliness. You are not. You are not financial struggle. You are not. Those are just things you have to deal with in life. Everyone does. I do, you do. Everyone has circumstances. But never collapse who you are with your circumstances. You are not your circumstances. So if you're not your circumstances, who are you? This goes back to self-view now. Who are you?
I'm me, myself.
I'm me. I'm myself. I'm not my circumstance. So if you don't collapse it, you're not your circumstance, who are you? Who are you? You know what Scripture says in Romans? It says you are more than a conqueror. You are more than a conqueror. You are more than a conqueror. So you can play a game in your mind. Let's do it right now. Take your circumstance. It's health problem. It is confidence problem. It's money problem. Maybe it's marriage problem. Maybe it's, I don't know, what else is there? Loneliness problem. It's a circumstance. There it is. And I want you to see it in front of you. There it is. It's right there. There's mine right there. There it is. Step back because you are not your circumstance. There it is. And I want you to grow yourself 10 times bigger than that circumstance. Picture that in your mind. There's your circumstance outside of you. There it is. Grow yourself 10 times bigger than that circumstance. Again, grow yourself now 20 times bigger than that circumstance. And what do you want to say to that circumstance? See, that's the game. That's the mind game. And you can tell that circumstance, I'm bigger than you. I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you to stop talking to me. I'm going to tell you to go away now. I don't know, you tell your circumstance what to do. What's happening is your circumstance is telling you what to do. No more. No more of that. You tell your circumstance what to do. You grow yourself 10 times bigger than your circumstance. Did you get that? Is that good?
Yes.
So dragon number 2 is circumstance. It's normal. Everyone has circumstances. Or we could call them problems, but I don't like to call them problems. They're just circumstances. It's just what's so. I dealt with divorce. My husband left me. It happened. It's a circumstance. I'm bigger than my circumstances. I bought 5 homes 8 years ago. 4 of those 5 homes went through it's I don't know what you call it here, but it's like a short sale. Do you know what that is? Like foreclosure short sale. Terrible for me. And so I was like, oh, I'm not good with real estate. I'm not good with money, and I'm not smart. And then I said, wait, what? What am I saying? It's just a circumstance. And I dealt with that circumstance. I grew myself 10 times bigger than 4 homes going through foreclosure. I grew myself 20 times bigger than 4 homes going through foreclosure. See? This is just what's so. Did you get it? So it doesn't matter if it's a health problem or a health issue, if it's foreclosure, if it's bankruptcy, is what we call it in the United States, if it's just money challenge, if it's a spouse who left you or a spouse who's not loving, it's a circumstance. And you grow yourself bigger than that circumstance. And watch how you start dealing with that circumstance. Because when I grew myself 10 times bigger, I got on the phone and I called my lawyer. I didn't even have a lawyer. I found a lawyer and I said, hello, you are now my lawyer and I need help. I have a circumstance. And he said, okay, what's your circumstance? I said, I have 4 homes that I cannot pay for. What do? I need some legal assistance. And now that's been 7 years ago, 6 years ago. It's not on my credit anymore. It doesn't even, what I would say, faze me. It was what's so. It was what I had to deal with. And I grew myself bigger than that circumstance. Got it? That's powerful. You can give yourself permission to be bigger than your circumstance. Okay, dragon number 1, self-view. Dragon number 2, circumstances. Dragon number 3, fear. 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 So, what do we do with fear? Well, can't you already feel that you're a little stronger about fear since we've gone through 2 dragons? You're like, oh, fear, what's fear? Right? Can you feel that tonight? Can you feel that? You're stronger already in this conversation. It's powerful. That's the mind. That's the heart. So let's talk about fear. What is fear? Let's talk about fear. My belief in fear and how I wrote the book Fear is a gift. It's a present. It's not a present if it holds you back. It's not a gift if it makes you smaller. But if you can shift your relationship with fear and start seeing fear as your green light. Green light. Green light. Green light. Green light. So tonight when you drive home and you get to a green light, you think about a fear like, awesome, green light. It's a green light. Why is it a green light? This is fascinating to me. This is the mind. This is the mind. See, you and I, when we grow up, we're told fear means you should stop. And if you're spiritual or religious, a lot of people say, oh, fear, that's a message from God. He's telling you to stop. No! That's the exact opposite of what fear is.
That's why I'm here today.
Say it again.
That's why I'm here today, because I was so afraid and I have a relationship with my son and his girlfriend, and I am she said I'm the cause for everything is bad. But when I have read this, and then I think, I need this today, because I know this. I have struggled a lot in my life to change things, and I read about Louisa, and she helped me lots with her books. So I understand this is a green light now when you talk about it, because I need this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So I had to fear my own struggle.
Yes.
Again.
Did you hear that? That's powerful. Yes. She said, I had to fear my own struggle again. I had to. And then I see the fear as my green light to go. Fear is my belief. Fear is God telling you go. Because when you step out in fear, you need God. You need to pray. You need to listen. You need to love. Fear. It makes you humble, and that's good. See, so I'm not talking about fear that makes you stop. I'm talking about fear that makes you connected. 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 So when I got on that airplane to Paris and I booked those rooms and the tenor and put $15,000 on my credit card, that was a good fear. That was a good fear. That's my green light to go. And then when I go through divorce and I feel like men don't love me. I mean, if my husband, who I met at 13, leaves me, men don't love me. I'm unlovable, see. But then when I could shift that and say, no, Lisa, start dating. Start dating. Okay. And then fear's my green light to go. So I start dating, and I dated. Men are so much fun, and they love to take me out, and they love to buy me gifts, and they love to treat me like a princess, not a duchess. It's amazing. But this is it. This is called transformation. But I'm willing. The word is willing. What's that in Swedish? I'm willing. I'm willing. Are you willing? Even when you're afraid, even when you have fear, you say, that's okay. Lisa said it's okay. Lisa said it's the green light to go. Is it my green light to go? Yes. Yes, it's my green light to go. It's powerful. So when fear comes up, you tell yourself, wait a minute. This is a gift. This is my green light to go. Let me take a step. Even a little step, and just watch how the fear is a little more silent, and then take another step, and the fear a little more silent, and then you take another step, and the fear a little more muted, a little more silent, and then you're bold and courageous and completing, and it's amazing, and then guess what happens? You get another goal, and then there's the fear again, and you start all over. It never ends. The fear is never going away. And that's okay. Fear is part of being human. Fear is part of being human. It's never going away. So, let's manage it. Let's deal with it. Let's befriend it. Befriend it. You are my friend. Fear is my friend. I'm choosing it. I'm declaring it. Fear is my friend. It's powerful. And fear is my green light to go. So when you drive all over and you see green lights, you think of this tonight. This is called an imprint on your brain. And you say, oh, fear's my green light. So what is my fear today? And you acknowledge the fear. Oh, I have fear around that, yes. And that's my green light. Move into it. Take a step toward it. Hold its hand. Befriend it. And watch what happens. It's a little shift in the mind. A little shift that gives you great power, great confidence, great healing. Dragon number 3, fear. So we said number 1, self-view. Dragon number 2, circumstances. Dragon number 3, fear. Dragon number 4, interesting. Most Americans speaking English does not know what this word is. This is an English word. Most people don't know. The word is ambiguity. 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 When I give the Dragon Slayer message in the United States and I say ambiguity, people are like, what does that mean, ambiguity? Does anybody know what ambiguity is? Ambiguity. Ambiguity is when you can't make up your mind. You're like, yes, I want it. No, I don't. Yes, I want it. No, I don't. Yes, I'm gonna. No, I'm not. Yes, I should. No, I shouldn't. Ambiguity. What is that in Swedish?
Ambivalent.
Oh, see, it's almost the same. Say it again.
Ambivalent.
Ambivalent. Ambivalent. It's a dragon. Shoo, 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 shoo. Ambivalent. So, what do? How do we slay ambivalent? How do we, did I say it right? I would love to speak Swedish. Yes. So how do we slay the dragon of ambiguity? You say yes, you say no. You want to date? No, I'm not going to date. You want to be bold? No, I'm shy. You want to start a business? No, it's not smart. You want to buy a house? I'm not good at buying houses. Ambiguity. Okay, what do?
Just go for it.
Just go for it. We do just go for it, but we have to talk to the mind. We must shift the mind. This conversation tonight, it's not really about just going for it. It's about changing the mind. Shifting the mind. That's what this is about tonight. It does take discipline. It does take time. But tonight is about insight. Like, wow, I can change how I'm wired. I can change my mind. I can change my self-view. I can declare myself whole and complete. I can. Wow. That's what tonight is about. And then circumstances. Yeah, I can tell myself I'm 10 times bigger than that. I can do that. And then dragon number 3, fear. I can shift my relationship with fear. Yes. And I can say, fear is my green light to go. Fear, I can befriend fear. I can do that now. See, that's what tonight is about. Ambiguity. How do we just do it? We have to shift it in the mind first. And then really tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day is about training the mind now, practicing this. But how do we shift the mind about ambiguity? Well, why do you think people say, yes, I want that, and then say, no, I shouldn't? Yes, I want that. No, I want that. Yes, I'm going to do it. No, it's not smart. Or I'm not good enough. Why?
Afraid of commitment?
Afraid of commitment. Excellent. Most people are afraid of commitment. We just are, because we don't want to let somebody down. We don't want to look stupid. How do you think it is for me to come here to Sweden and I have a challenge with pronouncing the Swedish words? It's hard for me. So I get up in front of all of you and I want to look smart. I want to look intelligent, and then I mispronounce a word, see? So it's about not giving so much attention to your faults. Does that make sense? Yeah. And giving a lot of attention to what's working. What are you good at? What do you love? It goes back to love. Love, love, love is so powerful. What do you love? What brings you joy? So how you slay the dragon of ambiguity is you focus on what you love. What do you love? What do you love to do? What do you love to talk about? Who do you love to be with? What lights you up to be around? What makes you excited? What inspires you? That's how you shift the dragon of ambiguity. You focus on what's working. You know, we had a training call before we came here, and I was coaching a lot of our brand reps and life shots. And one of the things I notice is that way too often the brand rep will notice what they didn't do right. And then they keep thinking about that. Oh, but I didn't do that right, or I'm not good at that, or I didn't pronounce that word right, or I messed up, and that's all. And everything is created twice. So tonight on the call, I said, stop it. Because tomorrow, you're going to have the same day as today. Tomorrow, you're going to have the same insecurity as today. Tomorrow, you're going to have the same failure as today. Guaranteed. Because everything is created twice. But let that be good news. Because now it's a discipline to say, wait a minute. Even though I did not pronounce that Swedish word correctly, I am going to see myself speaking well. And then just from that state of, I'm going to see myself speaking well, speaking confidently. I'm going to see that now in my mind. Everything is created twice. Tomorrow, I'll be a little better. I will be a little better tomorrow at speaking Swedish. I will. See? This is called progress. A little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. But how do we get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better? What are you thinking about? About yourself, about your circumstances, about that fear is your green light. Ambiguity is about following love. Following love. Do what you love. What are you passionate about? What inspires you? And you trust that you will be guided in the next step. So before we go to the fifth dragon, anybody have any?
They say that if you were born in Libra, then you are ambiguous. I mean, that comes with when you were born in the...
Libra. What
Libra.
month is that?
It's September, a part of October.
Okay. And they are usually more prone to...
Yeah, you weigh pros and cons.
Well, it's okay to weigh pros and cons. I get that. However, if that makes us stop, that we don't move forward, then it's a dragon, right? Then it's a dragon, and we got to slay it.
But my thought was, when you said all this, that you start with the little things that you're ambiguous about. That doesn't sort of make a great change to your life or so. It's just about buying this or that little thing, and then you make up your mind about that.
That's
from that
huge.
You could go on. Yeah.
Did you hear that? That's huge. So let me repeat it. Very smart. You start with the little things. This is around ambiguity, the fourth dragon, ambiguity. So how do you be more decisive in your day tomorrow? Well, you could go to the grocery store and you could say, I am buying that avocado. I am buying those bananas. I am buying apricots today. I am getting ice cream today. I am getting ice cream today. See, it's more decisive. When your friend says, where do you want to eat tonight? You don't say, I don't know. Because you are practicing slaying the dragon of ambiguity. So you say, I want to eat at, and you say the restaurant. See? Practicing. And then your friend will say, what movie do you want to go see? And you don't say, oh, it doesn't matter, whatever you want. No, you don't do that anymore. You say, 1 minute, let me see what movies are playing, and I'll call you right back.
There's only one here in town.
Oh, okay, then forget it. Forget ambiguity. So Latio has one movie?
Not a good example.
Not a good example. Okay, rewind the tape. Take away that example. But do you get it? This is a practice, and this is progress. A little bit of practice, a little bit of practice. So when someone says, where do you want to eat tonight? You say, I want to eat at. When you go to the grocery store, okay, I want this, and you get it. You are decisive. That is how you balance ambiguity with the little progress, little progress, little progress. And then when bigger things come, wow, you're skilled. You're skilled. You're skilled. And you can handle the bigger things. But this tonight is about dealing with the little things first, so you get good at it. You get good at it, and you start seeing yourself, wow, I'm decisive. I am decisive. Being decisive, which is the opposite of ambiguity, is something you give yourself permission to be. Do you get that? About giving yourself permission. Because most of us in this room, we were raised as children not to be decisive. We need to shift that if we choose to. So it isn't your regular way of being, or you're not wired that way to be decisive. You're wired to say, oh, it doesn't matter what restaurant, what do you want? It doesn't. And then the waiter comes over, what do you want? I'm not sure, I don't know, I want that, but I want that. No, you're going to say, 1 minute, let me think about it. Come back in a minute and I will know. And then you're going to look at the menu and you're going to say, I'm not sure, it's between that and that, but I'm choosing now because I'm decisive and I'm choosing that. And then the waiter comes over and you say, I chose that. Wow, you're getting good at this. You're getting good at this. Progress, progress, a little better, a little better, a little better. And then when the big things come around, whoa, you're a dragon slayer. Shum, shum, shum. You're a dragon slayer. Isn't this fun? I love this. I love this. Okay, so what's the first dragon?
Self-view.
Self-view. What's the second dragon?
Circumstance.
Circumstances. Third dragon?
Fear.
Fear. Now it's our green light. Fourth dragon?
Ambiguity.
Ambiguity. So we're going to be more decisive. More decisive. The fifth dragon. The fifth dragon is so amazing. The fifth dragon is spiritual. The fifth dragon is called efforting. I don't even think that's a word. I made it up. Efforting.
Efforting.
E-F-F-O-R-T. Effort. Ing. Efforting. I made it up and I'm putting it in the book. It's in the book. And it's published and it's going to be a bestseller. And I made up that word, efforting. It's true though. Let me tell you what efforting is. And it's a dragon. It's a dragon. Efforting is you believing you have to do it all. You got to make sure your kids are good. You got to make sure your husband is happy. You got to make sure the sun comes up tomorrow. You effort. That's a dragon. Efforting. 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 So in New York City, who's ever been to New York City? Okay, wow. New York City, there are 2 statues on Fifth Avenue. Fifth Avenue is a very popular avenue. Beautiful. Fifth Avenue. There are 2 statues. And you walk down the street in New York City on Fifth Avenue, and you look over here, and there's a big statue, and it's of Atlas. Atlas is the man who has the entire world on his shoulder. And this is Atlas. What does it feel like to have to be Atlas?
Powerful.
Powerful. So we get addicted to efforting. People need me. I'm good at this. I made the sun come up this morning. I'm Atlas. See? Some of you are like this. Some of you are efforting. So here's Atlas on Fifth Avenue. Across the street, directly across the street, is another statue. And it's inside St. Patrick's Cathedral. Beautiful St. Patrick's Cathedral. And there is a statue there of a little Jesus, probably about 9 years old. And the statue is of Jesus standing there, holding the whole world in his hand, with a smile on his face. This is what it looks like to let go of being Atlas and trust, even surrender to whatever you call that higher power. If you call that higher power God, it's God. If you call that higher power intellect or universe or love or divine knowing, divinity, whatever you call that higher power, that's what I'm talking about. So when you slay the dragon of efforting, you have to make sure everything is good in your family. Everyone's happy. The house is perfect. The sun came up tomorrow. You made sure your heart beat 63 times this last minute while I was talking because you are efforting. Yeah, and then you come over here and you have direction. You know what you want, but you hold it lightly. You hold it lightly. You trust more. You're more intuitive. You're more in the moment. You're more emotional. And you're okay with that. You're more loving. You're more light. You're more joyful. You're even more humble because you notice all the things that happen without you controlling it. And you're amazed at that. You notice that the sun came up this morning and there was nothing you could do about that. You couldn't stop it. And you don't even know anyone who could stop it. You notice that you breathe without thinking about breathing. You notice that your heart rate is at a certain level and you don't make it do that. You notice. You notice when you're feeling a little lonely today and someone calls you out of the blue. Someone just calls you, a friend. And you notice, she didn't even know I needed her to call me. A little gift. A little gift. And then you notice, like Lilia from Namibia, that calls me 3 months into no clients, and says, do you take on international clients? Yes, I live in Paris, France. And I'm like, confirmation! See, this is a beautiful way to live. This is a beautiful way to live. So let's keep talking about what this looks like. So, in your life, with your wanting desires, dreams, you want people to be happy in your family. You want to be happy in your family. You want your family to be healthy. And maybe for all this time you've been over here efforting, and you make sure you're home in time, and you make sure you have dinner on the table, and you make sure if that son doesn't want that dinner, you make a different dinner for him. And you efforting. And then you make sure everything is just so, because
Never done that.
you've always been over here.
No.
But what would it look like? And I'm not talking even about a radical change, like all of you should run to this side and just say, whatever! You haven't eaten in 3 days, it's okay. You're only 6. But what about moving over here a little bit? Trusting. One of the mantras I created for myself at the beginning of this summer, which was in June 1st, I said, you know what? This summer, the summer of 2014, is going to be the summer of serendipity. What is serendipity in Swedish?
That's a difficult one.
That's a difficult one. It's the summer of surprises. It's the summer of me just tapping into, I call them God winks. It's like, I gotcha. I gotcha, Lisa. You're taken care of. You think you're going to miss your flight? I gotcha. You think you're going to miss the train? I gotcha. See? Flow. On June 1st, I said this summer is the summer of flow. This summer is the summer of serendipity. And every day I have written in my journal, every day, at the end of the day, what happened that was a surprise. And I could stand before you right now and share with you every single day I have received a gift. A gift of a phone call, a gift of, an airplane being a little late so that I could get there on time. Just serendipity, flow.
Taking things as they come.
Taking things as they come, being in the moment and watching the little surprises, the surprises, the surprises, the surprises, the deliciousness of life, the deliciousness of a surprise. What would it look like if you chose to say, you know what, I'm going to try that?
A power cut of 2 weeks or so.
Maybe 2 weeks or so. Yeah, so tomorrow is August 15th. That's half in the month. Halfway in the month, yes? So maybe on August 15th you say, the rest of the month, for these 16 days, because it goes August 31st, for 16 days, it's going to be the month of serendipity, of flow. We'll see what happens. And then at the end of the day, notice what happened. This is called letting go or slaying the dragon of efforting. It doesn't mean you don't do anything. You're still complete, you're still responsible, you still get things done, but you don't get things done by your human power. You get things done because you're led. You're inspired. You're inspired, you're led, you're in flow. Things happen with ease. Your business grows with ease. Your bank account grows with ease. Surprise money comes to me every day. Surprise money. Surprise. Just, it's amazing. It's these God winks. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Why? Another question, how? How is this happening to me? That every night I can write in my journal, something happened that was a surprise, was a God wink. It was. Why is this happening to me? It never has happened before in my life, ever.
You are open to it?
I'm open to it. I'm open to it. I'm open to it. That's one thing.
You let it.
I let it. I'm allowing it. I'm open to it. I'm allowing it.
And when you think of it in the night, you make it twice to the next day.
Exactly! Everything is created twice. So it's like a snowball, and you know that in Sweden. It keeps growing. It's a small snowball, and as it rolls down day to day to day to day to day, it's amazing. So I'm open to it. I'm allowing it. I'm thinking it. Everything's created twice. What else?
You have confidence.
I'm believing in it. I believe in it. Maybe I didn't believe in it on day one. June 1st, I'm like, I am crazy. Really. Like, this is insane. This is really crazy. But you know what? I'm okay with crazy. I'm okay with crazy. I'm okay with crazy. Yeah, I am. So let's try it. Let's try it for 15 days. August 15th to August 31st. What do we have to lose? Just try it. Say, you know what, I'm going to be intentional about this. I'm going to ask for it. And maybe the asking is, show me the God wink. Show me serendipity. Show me flow. Show me. So I expect it. What were the other words? I expect it. I ask for it. I'm intentional about it. I create it. What else did I do?
Believe in it.
I believe it. I believe it. And again, at the beginning, I didn't believe it. And sometimes you have to step out when you don't believe it. It's okay. It could be a mustard seed of faith. But now, 2.5 months later, I believe it. There is some power here. There is some beautiful, the deliciousness of life, how things happen with ease, and I've been here in Europe for 6 weeks, all over Europe for 6 weeks. How is it that everything in my house is fine? I don't know how. No one's living there. My daughter got home yesterday, and she said, Mom, the house is just fine, because I didn't know no one was going to be living there, but it just happened. And then how is it that my business is growing and I'm not there? I don't know how that's happening, but I don't have to know. If I had to know, that would be efforting. And I want to try living in trust. Is that a good word? Living in trust.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. And trust, faith, trust, it's a muscle. You got to work it out. It's a muscle. You're not good at it at first. You can't lift a lot of weight in trust. You're like, I don't believe this. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. And that's okay. Progress, a little bit. And then you get a little God wink or a little serendipity. I'm like, whoa, I'm starting to believe this a little bit. See, the muscle, you work at it. Those are the 5 dragons. Self-view, circumstance, fear, ambiguity, and efforting. And now, what would your life look like if you chose to take these 5 dragons and slay them? And really master your mind of what you think about. Master your heart about what you let yourself see and feel and imagine. And be disciplined to only focus in and look at what you want to see. Now, I know things are real. That's a problem, or that's a circumstance, or that person's angry with you, and it's real. But why look at it? Why? You're just going to create it twice, and 3 times, and 4 times. You know, Kirsten has a neighbor, and she's maybe 9 years old?
Oh, no, we only...
The little one.
2, maybe.
And what did she say to you the other day?
Maybe that.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the wrong neighbor. Yes, she said she's about 9 years old, and she said, "In my mind, I am 15."
In my mind, I am 15. Now, Kirsten had a very good response.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm 42. And then she said, that little darling, she said, "Oh, he looks like 31."
I love that little girl. She gets it. She's creating in her mind that she's 15. And then Kirsten's creating in her mind that she's 42. And the neighbor says, "Oh no, you're 31. Okay." It's a delicious way to live. It's a delicious mindset. It's a wonderful way to live. And you give yourself permission to live this way. But it's a discipline. You don't focus on the problem. You don't focus on the health issue. You don't focus on the person who's mad at you. They're mad at you. It's a circumstance. He doesn't like you. It's a circumstance. There's money challenge. It's a circumstance. Don't focus on it. Focus on what you want. Focus on how you want to feel. Focus on what it feels like to be free, confident, wealthy, fun, leader, prolific in the Swedish language. See, this is the message tonight. This is a choice. What are you thinking about? What are you imagining in your mind? What are you fantasizing about? There's beautiful, healthy fantasies for you to focus in on. And if everything's created twice, watch how tomorrow is different. Next week is better. The following month has expanded. Next winter is amazing. Powerful way to live. You and I have a choice to notice the 5 dragons, to slay it, and then to focus on what we want. Focus in on what we want. Another cute thing that her neighbor said, he's 7 years old, possibly, the boy, the little boy.
Oh, I think he's only 3.
3. Oh, he's 3 years old. And when he hears something that he does not like, maybe his parents are arguing, maybe his mom said no to ice cream, maybe his dad said he had to go to bed, what does he say?
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. These are smart people. These are smart people, this 3-year-old, this 7-year-old. I didn't hear that. So what would it be like for you if someone was angry with you and said something mean or rude and you just said in your mind, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. One time, my mom and I were driving down the street, My mom is a very loving, faith-filled woman who lives on this side of trust and faith. And we're driving down the street, and we're in a busy street, and this car is coming up this way. I'm driving. She's in the passenger seat. I'm driving. The car is coming up this way, and I didn't stop for the car. I didn't stop. I made a mistake. I went through the stop sign. And the guy here is yelling at me, bad words. And my mom says, Lisa, look at that. Don't you love it when people sing at the top of their lungs the song that's on the radio? And I said, Mom, I love it when people sing at the top of their lungs. Oh, to be like that. My mother is childlike. She's full of faith. She's full of beauty. She only sees this man singing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he really was singing and I thought he's yelling at me because I did cut him off. Who's right? Is my mom right or am I right? I don't know. In her world, she saw him singing.
So she was serious about it.
She was serious about it.
Yeah.
In my world, I thought he was yelling at me. To this moment, I don't know which one. But in her world, he's singing. So I want to live in her world. And I get to. I get to. By like that 3-year-old boy that I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. Ah, is it powerful? Who thinks this is just crazy? It is a new way of living. It is a new way of creating. It is a new way of thinking. But it is amazing and it works. And what would the planet look like if all the Swedish people and all the United States people chose to live like this? What would it look like?
You would have no wars anymore.
It would be peaceful.
We are not at war with the United States.
Yeah, I know, I love that. It would be a different world, wouldn't it? It would be a different house. In your home, it would be different. Your family would be different. Why? Because you didn't hear that.
What if I said that it sounds like you're supposed to create a shell around yourself?
She said, what about like if I just said I'm going to create a shell around myself?
I think it sounds like that.
I love the intention, but the language is too hard.
Yeah.
So what's another language? What's another word? Because I love the intention. I get what you say.
A new skin?
A new skin.
A second skin? Or
A second skin.
Bubble.
A bubble. That's beautiful because a bubble is like my mom. She kind of just floats and notices everybody singing in their car. Now let me give you a little psychology behind this because I am a psychologist. I do have a doctorate degree in psychology. This is called the reticular activating system. It is in the base of your brain right here. It's a pea size. It's very small. It's called the reticular activating system. You have one, you have one, I have one. All human beings have a reticular activating system. And for short, we call it RAS, reticular activating system. So we all have this RAS. What is the RAS? The RAS in neurology is at that tip of your brain so that it filters things out. If you didn't have an RAS, you are being bombarded with information, stimulus, 200 million stimuli at you at any second. From everything, from the weather to a horn beeping, to someone talking to you, to things we can't even see. There's so much stimulus in the world that the brain filters things out. In fact, here's the research. The brain can compute 7 to 9 bits of information in any given second. 7 to 9 bits of information at any given second. Wow! When there's millions of bits of information and all you can be aware of is 7 to 9 bits of information. That's amazing. Why is that amazing? Well, here's why. what deciphers the 7 to 9 bits. You're going to notice 7 to 9 different bits of information than I am. You're going to notice 7 to 9 different bits of information than I am. What decides what you notice and what I notice, just like my mom? What decides that she notices joy and I noticed anger? How is that? That's the operative question. So in neurology, knowing that we have this RAS, and it's a filter system, it helps you only notice 7 to 9 things at any given moment. Because if you didn't have an RAS, you'd go insane. It's too much information for your human brain to compute. But the real question is, what deciphers what 7 to 9 bits of information you're going to notice? So here's the story. So you and I are walking down the road. We're walking down the road. Walking. And you notice the birds. And you notice the beaming sun. And you notice how green the grass is. And these are things you notice. And then you even heard music. Somebody's practicing their violin. You heard that. You noticed. I'm walking down the same road with you. And I heard somebody fighting. There was an argument across the street. And I noticed that the gravel is very rough and it hurts my feet. See, this is interesting. So the reticular activating system helps you filter things out. But why are you noticing the good and why am I noticing the bad? Interesting. And then on some days, maybe you'll notice more of the negative or the bad, and I'll notice more of the good. That question should cause all of us to say, wow, I have some control here. Wow, I have some control here of what I'm seeing in the world. So if you have decided that let's make it up, your sister doesn't like you. You have decided that. That is a decision. Everything your sister does, according to your RAS, equals that decision. It equals that belief. And you're only going to notice when she's rude and mean and unfriendly. You're never going to notice when she was nice to you or when she shared something with you. You'll never notice that because you're wired to see my sister doesn't like me. This is called context. Context. Now bring that simple example to money. Money, making money. Maybe your context is making money is hard. It's hard for me to make money. Then your RAS is only going to notice when it's difficult to keep a client, when your boss is unhappy with your production, when you're not feeling confident in your job. When you can shift that all by changing the context, the mantra, the words, the decision, the belief. And that's what I'm talking about tomorrow on August 15th, to get up and say, you know what? It's easy for me to make money. I'm going to choose to believe that. I don't believe it 100% right now. I don't, but that's okay. Lisa said that's okay. It's progress, it's progress, it's progress. I'm going to start declaring, I am a woman who makes money with ease. I am a woman who enjoys my work so much that so many people want to work with me. I have so many clients happy with what I do. My job is so fulfilling. See, you need to start creating. You need to start creating. Everything is created twice. So what are you going to say about tomorrow? About your job, about your marriage, about your family, about your body, about your way of being? You have power, you have power, you have power to create your future. You're already doing it now. You just aren't conscious of it. But what would it look like if you chose to begin tomorrow and say, I'm going to begin creating my day. I'm going to begin creating my world. Who wants to do that? Awesome, beautiful. And then I will have contributed to you in amazing ways, so thank you. So thank you for coming tonight. Thank you, Kirsten, for this opportunity to share the Dragon Slayer message. I actually have been writing this book and researching all the research in psychology and neurology for the last year. And then I said to myself, because I created it, I said, where do I want to write this book? I want to take 3 weeks off and not go on holiday, go on writing, like a writing den. And I said, Paris, France. So I rented an apartment, a flat in Paris this last 3 weeks, and I wrote all day, every day. All day, every day, writing. So I completed the Dragon Slayer, and then when I go back to Stockholm next week, and then back to the United States in September, writing is rewriting. Writing is rewriting, so I will rewrite, and I will launch this book in November of 2014. So that's the book. The other message of the Dragon Slayer is an email course, and that is available now. So if any of you want to order the email course, all you have to do is write down your email address, and I will send you the link to see how much it costs and when it starts, and it's $27. So it's very inexpensive. It's $1 a day. $1 a day, because it's 27 days. And on day 1, you'll get a message from me. On day 2, progress, you get a message from me. Little steps. Day 3, day 4, all the way to day 27. And you can order that right now. That's called the Dragon Slayer Email Daily Course. So we'll have a sheet in the back of the room, and you can write out your email address if you want me to send you that information, and you can decide if you want to order that. And then you'll be on my mailing list, so I'll let you know when the book comes out, The Dragon Slayer. If anybody wants some information about the next Mastermind Retreat, this is my 12th one in Costa Rica. It's so much fun. But that's already coming up in October, so it's relatively soon. There's only 2 suites left, 2 rooms left, so it's almost sold out. So you can take this and see what we do if you want to either come to Costa Rica with that group or come to the next one, which is in Geneva, Switzerland, and the one after Geneva is in Stockholm at Grand Hotel. So spectacular. So that is our conversation tonight about the 5 Dragon Slayers. I'm going to be here. Does anybody have any questions right now, or anybody have any comments about what they learned, what they want to declare? Okay, wonderful. Well, stay around, come talk to me, share with me privately if you want, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Lisa.
I love you.
Och som sagt, stanna gärna kvar en stund om du vill prata med Lisa. Fundera någonting, titta på böckerna. Fylla i om ni vill komma och dricka vin hos mig.
Ordnar du chaufför också hemma? Ordnar du chaufför också?
Create it in your mind. You never know.
Det går ju så långt på.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Tack.